Hi, mathematicians. If you have not watched the first video attached to this study guide, watch this video first because it is going to give you a trick for how to figure out which equations are equivalent. Remember, equivalent means equal to or the same thing. So if you have not watched this video first, that I have on Google Classroom that shows you how to use the graphing calculator, stop this video now and go back to that video first. Hopefully you have watched that video and you know that all you need to do is use that Desmos calculator to see where the equations line up. Write this nice and big to remind yourself to use that calculator because that will pretty much give you the answer. So if you typed this equation and all of these equations into the Desmos calculator, you'll see that the ones that line up are option B, C, and E. So you should have B, C, and E for number 1. And for number 2, the only one that matches up that was equivalent is C. And again, if you didn't watch the video where I show you how to use the graphing calculator, please do, because it's going to make it so much easier. Problem number 3 looks really confusing because it has all this writing in it. But they give you one really important piece of information to help you out. They give you this equation, which I am going to write here. And it asks you to find the time, which we know that time is represented from the problem by the letter T. And notice that all of your answers have T isolated. So what this problem is telling you to do is isolate the letter T. So if we look at what is on the same side of the equal sign with the T, we see that we need to cancel a P and we need to cancel an M. So how do we do that? Since the P does not have a negative in front of it, we know that P must be a positive P. So what is going to cancel a positive P? It will be a negative P because they are opposites of each other. Remember how equations work. If you multiply or if you do something on one side of the equal sign, you must do the same thing on the other side of the equal sign. So I need to subtract P from this side of the equal sign as well. I don't know what C or minus P are equal to, so I'm just going to write them as 2 separate parts. Then I'm going to bring down my equal sign. I'm going to bring down my MT. And let's recall what it means when you have 2 things that are sitting next to each other. This means multiplication because they are sitting next to each other. Well, what cancels multiplication? Division will cancel multiplication because they are inverses, they are opposites of each other. So I need to divide by M. Dividing by M will cancel the M that is sitting there with the T. So now my T is isolated because I got canceled the M. It's still an equation. So if I multiply this side by M, or I'm sorry, I divided this side by M. So I also need to divide this side by M. And so the T is now isolated, and it's equal to C minus P divided by M because it's that whole side of the equation. So which answer matches up with that? It's going to be option A. Number 4 looks like a lot because it's got all this writing, okay? But you don't really need to use all of this. On the test, Just use the graph. Forget about all this stuff up here. For option A, it says no vans. So what number corresponds with the word no? That is going to be 0. So where on the graph are vans? Vans are right here on the y-axis. So 0 vans would be down here at 0. So to figure out how many cars we would need, we will go here to 0 vans, and we will travel to where the line is to see how many cars. Well, how many cars? That would be 20, which is not 13. So option A is not correct. Let's look at option B. Option B says no cars. So that means 0 cars. So where do we see 0 cars? So 0 cars are here, and 0 cars would be right here on the graph, the same place as 0 vans because both zeros are here. So 0 cars, let's go up this time to the van and see how many vans is that. So it's halfway between 12 and 14, so that's 13. So that does match up. So option B is one of the correct answers, but there is more than one, and we know that because it says select all the true statements. Option C, we've already done because it says no vans, which we already know no vans is here. And we already went over to the graph and saw that with no vans, we would need 20 cars. So we know that option C is a correct answer. And the last one that is correct, if 14 cars are needed, that means that 4 vans will be needed. So I'm going to go to 14 cars. And I'm going to go up to the line to see where it hits. And it does line up with 4 vans. So that means that option D is also correct. So for number 4, you should have B, C, and D. For number 5, do not let all these words freak you out. Okay, first of all, let's pick apart the words we know. We know that an equation has an equal sign in it. And it starts off by telling you that a t-shirt, so just the blank t-shirt without anything, costs $15. So we know that it's going to be $15 for the t-shirt without anything on it. But then they give us the option to add a letter to the t-shirt, and each letter costs $1.25. Now, we don't know how many letters there are. So since we don't know how many letters there are, we're going to use a variable, and I'm going to use the variable X. So it's $15 for the t-shirt plus $1.25 times the number of letters I purchase. So it's $1.25 times X. Something very important for you to keep in mind on the test is make sure when you write your equation that you do what I just did here, where you tell me what each variable stands for. So now, besides adding a letter, you can also add a number to t-shirts. And the numbers apparently cost $2.50. Again, we don't know how many numbers, so I'm going to use another variable, which is the y. So now my cost of my t-shirt, so far I've charged $15 for the blank t-shirt, $1.25 for every letter that I add, plus $2.50 for every number that I add. And all of this is going to equal the total cost, which I'm going to use to represent the letter C. So you do not have to solve this problem. All you need to do is write the equation on the test. And again, make sure you let me know what each of your variables stand for. For number 6, remember you can use the Desmos calculator to help you graph this yourself. Remember that all you have to do is type the equations here in the equation editor, and it'll show your answer, your solution will show up right here. So I'm just going to show you how to do it without the calculator. Also, remember there's my -4. There is my beginning point. My slope is +1/2, and it's a positive slope. My rise is 1. My run is 2. So that means my next coordinate will be up 1 and over 2. So it'll go up like that. My other equation, if you want to do it without using the calculator, you'll need to move the x over to the other side by doing +5x on both sides. Then you'll need to divide everything by -5. But remember, you do not have to do this because you can also type it into the calculator. So y equals 5 divided by -5 is -1x. 5 divided by -5 is -1. So that means my beginning point will be down here at -1. And then my slope of -1 means it'll go down 1 and over 1. So this line will go like this. And don't forget to name your solution. Remember, the solution is where they intersect. So the solution in this case will be 2 and -3. So that's what we mean by solve. Don't forget that you need to tell me the solution.